This is Catterick Garrison, situated in North Yorkshire. It's ranked as a Super Garrison, spanning across 2,400 acres, making it the biggest British Army base in the world. But over the years there's been some changes. After it was announced in 2013 they'd be rehoming British soldiers from Germany from across 5 units, it called for an expansion.
It's been a series of projects over 30 years of working across the UK and in Germany itself. It was a little bit unique and a bit different. It's a very dispersed site. It's also got quite a lot of historic features, quite a lot of listed buildings. So the old pilot's restroom from the Second World War, if you can imagine that sort of iconic ring the bell and run to the Spitfires and Hurricanes, there's quite a lot of those types of buildings here. So we had to ensure that when we were building the new, that we ensured those listed type buildings were not in any way compromised by the more modern development.
We're now driving through Barracks, which has seen significant changes to its size. Over the years there were several barracks here, but now it operates under one large one at Munster Barracks. At the heart of it is the Sandhurst block, built in 1938. It was left empty in 2009. While it hasn't changed much physically on the outside, as it's a Grade 2 listed building, inside it was completely gutted and transformed from an accommodation block that once held 400 single living soldiers to now an office complex that can hold up to 600 personnel. After 16 months of work, it's now the HQ for the Catterick Garrison, including 4th Infantry Brigade, 1 Regiment Royal Military Police and 1st Military Intelligence Battalion.
To walk past it, other than the fresh paint on those Juliet balcony doors, you wouldn't note any difference. Internally, it's completely different. It's unrecognisable because the configuration of the rooms, which were basically 4, 6 and single occupancy rooms, have all gone. So you've got open plan offices where we could, you've got breakout areas, you've got conference rooms that weren't there. So yeah, it's completely changed inside.
Just a few minutes away is the Sandhurst block's predecessor, the old headquarters for Catterick Garrison and the former HQ for 4th Infantry Brigade. They now sit waiting for their next phase, as plans are in place to increase troop numbers here by more than 50% by 2031, under plans for another major expansion. Work to home 3-2 Engineer Regiment as they returned from Germany took place at Barracks, which needed a total facelift, as many of the buildings dated back to the Second World War, when it was actually an RAF base.
Before we built the new mess facility behind us, it was some open brownfield land. So brownfield means it's been developed before, but often properties or structures have been demolished and it's just been levelled. So it's just a piece of open land. So formerly it had air raid shelters on it before we began building here. The occupants of the building are a mix between 3-2 Eng and 5 RA. They actually share the SNCO's mess, which is a bit of a first, but a great facility.
Another major redevelopment here was its accommodation. It was a step away from the traditional single living flats to a modern take to allow soldiers to have their own space.
The single living accommodation for junior ranks was put in place for 120 bed spaces. It allows personnel to come back and spend some time as a group, gaming or watching on the bigger screens that we've incorporated into the rooms, as well as kitchen areas, so that they're not always tied into using the messing facilities. Prior to that, we had sort of 6, 8 and 12 man rooms, which in themselves were of their time. I think the fact that the individuals have got their own rooms, their own private space, is a positive from the point of view of junior ranks.
So I've come straight through from training, so I've just got to the regiment recently. So I'm used to living with other people. It's nice now to be in single living accommodation. So I've got my own room with an ensuite, and then we share a communal common room where we can cook and socialise, which is good.
The accommodation at Swanton Morley is more sort of outdated. It was quite old when we got there. So the first block I stayed in was a block called 51, and it was a lot outdated. It was single man rooms, but there was shared toilets and showers.
Outside the wire, to cope with the large numbers of troops, the civilian community constructed new shopping complexes and leisure centres. But what did the locals make of the changes and the increased presence of soldiers?
From a positive point of view, then the Tesco's and the retail park up there in the middle of the garrison, then fine, brilliant, that's good.
I don't know if there's enough housing. I'm not sure if that's a problem, but I think the facilities are good here, and it's generally thought to be a good posting.
The changes have done as well, to be fair. I mean, I've been here 9 years now. Obviously, Prince's Gate's just been developed, so economy's great as well.
While the troops may have settled in from Germany, it doesn't stop there for this Super Garrison, as it's expected to get even bigger over the next decade as they prepare to be the new home of the Strike Brigade. Kirsty Chambers, Forces News, Catterick. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.